Hey guys, BuffNerdGaming back today, beginning our video, and after a little bit over 2 years of Warzone, I think I finally found the best SCAR or the Mark 17 build. This is a tough weapon to really find that perfect balance because of the mobility and the 30-round magazine, so I've been playing around with this weapon a lot. I have a lot of videos covering the Mark 17 in Warzone or the SCAR. I'll link a lot of those down below so you can check out the different builds. But today I'm going to go through a different build that I've actually never used before. It's a combo I'm sure no one's probably ever put together with two at least very unique attachments that I don't think a lot of people are using. And I'll show you the build and go into some really good gameplay on Caldera, as well as really good gameplay on Rebirth, where we get a few wins. So this SCAR itself, I'm going to be dubbing the Mark 17 instead of Mod 0 or Mod 1. We're going to call it the Mark 17 BUFF MOD is my new name for this one. This could be probably the best SCAR build I think I've come up with in covering this weapon in Warzone, and probably one of my most used weapons in Warzone, right behind my LVAW build. So let's go ahead, back out, we'll build this, and then we'll jump into the gameplay, and I'll probably leave you guys with a little bit of the raw gameplay. So backing out here, see the final build here for the Mark 17. Go ahead. First off, if we're going to be running the Mark 17, we need to be running it with D-Day here with our Delta skin for Arctic Ops, looking really good. Go ahead and take a quick look at that. So this is definitely my favorite D-Day skin. You can see looking really nice there with the Mark 17, having our Delta Arctic Ops operator for D-Day. So backing out, back to the weapon here, Mark 17 Buff Mod. Go to this weapon, strip it down to base, and what I'll do is get rid of the camo to start. So we're just going to go to none. And this one, I'm going to be using the Fugitive blueprint here just for that custom looking buttstock that I really like on this weapon. Gives it a little bit of a different buttstock, I think. Or is this one this actually might be the base buttstock. There's a few different blueprints. We have the Fugitive. Yeah, so this is actually the same. I'm thinking you also have different ones with different buttstock options. This one here being the Trader has kind of that ACR type build. But the Fugitive is a really nice blueprint that you got for completing Season 3 Battle Pass. So we'll go ahead, build this thing up from scratch. Again, this is a really unique looking design. It has the black upper as well as that tan, or I guess, yeah, we can call it a dark tan or a dark green type lower receiver with the buttstock. So muzzle option. This is going to be the first one. Tactical suppressor. This is one that obviously everyone's always going to use the mono because you get the damage at range. The SCAR is a weird weapon. Like I said, you need to find that balance between good ergo and recoil control, and being able to take advantage of the pros, which is pretty decent damage, but you also want to have good ergonomics. And if you build this thing up with the mono and some of the other attachments that I've used in the past, you're going to get a very slow ADSing weapon that really hurts your mobility and the ergonomics. So tactical suppressor, you're going to get the sound suppression. It'll keep you off the minimap. The cons here are the aim down sight speed and the aim walking steadiness. Obviously, with the mono, you're giving up the damage at range, but like I said, I really don't think we need it. If we look at the two comparatively, you can see you're saving that mobility. Your mobility is going to go down a little bit there, so you can see where you're saving on that. It looks minuscule, but I noticed a pretty heavy difference with this weapon when it comes to ADS speed and just overall movement. Next up, the barrel. Typically, like I said, have always really run either the base barrel or the 20-inch barrel with one of the blueprint options. So for this one, we're actually going to be running the 17-inch barrel. Now, this gives you the same pros and cons as a 20-inch. However, they're just a little bit lesser. So you can see here, if we put on the 17-inch, go ahead and look at it comparatively to the 20-inch. You're obviously giving up a little bit of range, giving up a little bit of accuracy, but your mobility and control you're giving up. But the mobility is the key thing here. You're saving mobility with the 17-inch over the 20-inch barrel, as well as the tactical suppressor over the monolithic suppressor. So you can see there, mobility is key here with this weapon. And again, the recoil control, I believe, is actually perfectly balanced with this weapon. So we'll run the 17-inch barrel on this, and you can see you have a few different options here. We're going to run just with the default. And that's the reason I end up having the camo on it. It's just because there's no real good blueprint option for this upper receiver for the 17-inch barrel. So we'll put on the camouflage after just to make it look a little bit more clean. The optic, obviously, we're going to be running the hammer, or the Leopold hammer, or the integral high bit as it's called in game here. So this weapon, you'll see me utilize the optics switch here quite a bit in the gameplay. Obviously, you have the 3.25 scout with that top mounted delta point for when you need to be using this thing in close range, which it crushes with this build because you have the good ergo with this build. So again, this is a build that really takes advantage, I think, of all the pros of the weapon while lessening the cons as much as possible, so, or at least mitigating them for the most part. So the integral hybrid, go ahead and select that. Stock option we'll leave at the base. Skip the perk and the rear grip. Magazine, we're going to run the 30-round magazine. You can probably get away with the 25, and that'll give you even better mobility, but the 30-round magazine, I personally find, is just kind of necessary with the SCAR because it does have a pretty high rate of fire, and you only have a 30-round magazine. So running the 30-round, put that on there, and then the underbarrel, we're going to run the bipod foregrip. This one giving you the recoil control. Crouch prone recoil control will be increased when you're crouched or prone, which I believe I take a little bit of advantage of that in the gameplay for the most part. Mainly crouching and standing, though, in this gameplay. In the cons here, movement speed and aim down sight speed. So you can see you're taking a bit of a hit to the mobility, but we've already mitigated that a lot with the tactical suppressor as well as a 17-inch barrel instead of the 20. So we'll go ahead and put that on. And this is our final build. So we'll move over to the camouflage here, put on the rip and tear. And then the reticle I'm going to be using here is actually a unique one, the central focus. I haven't really run this previously. This one works out really well on the SCAR. Helps me keep, when I'm utilizing that 3.25, helps me keep my shots on target. So this is our final build here. Really nice looking SCAR 17 build. This is the SCAR 17 of the Mark 17 buff mod. Going to be pairing this with the SPR 208 and running stims and proxy mines as well. So you can see there, Mark 17, jump into the gameplay with this weapon. And again, I'm running this on Rebirth and in Caldera. You'll see a mixed gameplay. In this particular build, like I said, where this shines over the other builds that I've run in the past, usually in the past I've run this exact build, but swapped out the attachments. I would run the mono and the 20-inch barrel, and everything else would be the same. That build is really good, however, the mobility is horrible. You move very slow, and aim down sight speed, things like that are just very, very bad. So when you do get in a pinch in medium close quarters engagements, it's just very hard to react as fast as you need to. So the I guess counter to that would be, okay, swap out the 30-round magazine for a 20-round magazine and put on a tack laser, see if that helps. Maybe try an operator foregrip or a commando foregrip. All those seem to be decent, but you really need a 30-round magazine. You really need the bipod foregrip because the SCAR, you're not running and gunning super quick with this thing. You need to be taking advantage of position, which you'll see me do a lot of here. And obviously, when you do need to go crouch or prone in certain engagements, it's going to only increase your accuracy to stretch that range out. Now, the tactical suppressor and the 17-inch barrel, like I said, it offers better mobility, better ergonomics, and this is kind of the perfect balance with the SCAR. This is really the ranges that you would want to be engaging with this. I don't believe I'll ever use a monolithic suppressor again versus the tactical suppressor. It saves you a lot of mobility. And the other build that I would use would just be the base barrel with this exact build, except we run the base barrel and a monolithic suppressor and then a tack laser on there, or maybe sleight of hand. And again, that's a really good build, better for closer ranges because you have a base barrel. You're not going to be able to stretch out the ranges as much. This 17-inch barrel with the tactical suppressor, I believe, is one of my personal favorite SCAR builds. It really takes advantage of the close to medium range engagements that you need to use, and then again, if you're crouched, mounted, or in prone in certain situations, you can stretch that range out a little bit. But I'm pairing it with the SPR just because, again, with this build, in the SCAR in general, even with a 20-inch barrel, you're not going to be able to get crazy ranges out of this thing. And with the 30-round magazine, it's going to be a little bit difficult depending on where you're fighting on the maps. So pairing it with a sniper rifle, being able to swap from the sniper to the SCAR if you need to. And like I said, use that hammer sight for the top mounted delta point. You'll see me take advantage of that a lot, especially on Rebirth where we had a really good win. So Caldera had a nice 8 kill with this. And then I think it was 9 or 10 total from 11 kill game over on Rebirth. That's just 2 of the games I had this thing with. I use this quite a bit, and I've been using another weapon as well, which I'll have a video out in a couple days probably. But again, this SCAR build, definitely one of the better ones. This is a SCAR that I've been using a lot lately in Rebirth, trying to find a good build to use, and just kind of struggling with it because, like I already discussed, you either have a accurate at longer ranges but very slow build that you need to pair with an SMG, or you have more of a close quarters build that you still really need to utilize a sniper with. And this is kind of the best of both worlds. So you're basically combining the base barrel build with a 20-inch build, getting a nice happy medium here for the SCAR, and allows you to operate in closer, medium, and longer ranges a little bit, but you have the SPR for long ranges, which, again, big plus with that. So let me know what you guys think of this. This is the Mark 17 buff mod, or the SCAR 17 here in Call of Duty Modern Warfare's Warzone. Till next time, this is BuffNerdGaming. Out.
follow you.
Yep. He bought his buddy. Careful. I got a plate. Get behind this.
There's still 10 people, dude.
Yeah, get behind this radiator. You gotta stay on this HVAC. Get them as they come in. Drop it in, Matt. Nice. They're down here.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
Right there. Okay.
2v1. 2v1.
Yep.
Here he is. He's right down here. Yeah!
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. What a beautiful game. That was amazing. Dude, I was going ham with the scar, Jesus. Beautiful. Yeah, good game, guys.